Well, hello. Thank you for checking this video out on the principle of integrity. My name is David Lovin, and this is my wife, Deanna.
Hello.
And so we'd like to just get right into it. So, Deanna, what inspired you to start this grassroots movement?
Well, before I go into the story of it, I want to make clear that the message of we, the people, value integrity. That's our message. It's that simple. We are wanting to promote a principle. I may have a preference, and I'm going to share my story. I'm not here to convert you. I'm just sharing my story to say, hey, this is what caused me to sit in front of these cameras and talk to you today. So it all began when one morning I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw the picture of the world. And then I heard, ask me for a neutralizer. And then I got up and I was sitting there pondering that. What is that? What is the neutralizer? And I was reminded of this, the concept of magnets. I am not a scientist, so forgive me if I botch this a little, but I think you'll understand what I'm saying. When you try to put two magnets together, two negatives or two positives, it always repels, right? Yeah. There's just no way to connect them. But then I was sitting there thinking, and it was like, oh my goodness. So if with a neutralizer, if you connect both magnets to the neutralizer, there's that unity and coming together with a neutralizer. And that is, so I'm like, what is the neutralizer? I'm asking. And I heard the word integrity. And that's why I'm here today, and that's why my husband David is here. And we're sharing this message because, yes, you think, okay, it's just a word, integrity. No, it's genius. When I heard the word integrity, I was like, oh, okay, that means honest. But the more that I studied it and looked it up, I'm going to just share it with you because the more I read it, hopefully it'll come alive to you also. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Yeah. It's a state of being whole and undivided. Yeah. Think about that, you guys. Is that not the most perfect word for today? Yeah. When we think about what we've gone through this past year, every one of you that I'm talking to could think of some instance where we have been crying out for integrity. If it's wondering, what's the truth about COVID? What the media is saying, what is, with the elections, with the riots, when this message, this stream came, it was in October before some of this had happened. However, now I'm looking and realizing how important it is, and I'm listening to people and the cry of many people's hearts, not just ours. We're just one voice. So after sharing the message, the definition of integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, the state of being whole and undivided. Think about that for a minute. The lack of integrity is when things start crumbling, when we look around and things are not whole. There's not unity. Integrity, this message it's a principle. As David started out, he said it is a principle. It's not a preference. And I really want to emphasize this because we all have preferences. We have preferences as to what media source we like. We have preferences in how to raise our children. We have preferences to what party we're going to vote for. So I realize that everybody has a preference, but I really believe that this is a neutralizing word because we can all come together on the word integrity. Yeah, right? Absolutely. And every one of us was born with a conscience, a God-given conscience. And there is an innate desire in all of our hearts to embrace integrity. No matter what your preferences are, this is a principle. And I believe that we can unite in this area.
Well, we know what's right and we know what's wrong.
Right. It just occurred to me that I'd like to spend a few minutes and talk about we the people. Our whole message is really simple. We the people value integrity. And you're probably thinking, why did you use we the people? Why did you put it in that font? We the people value. And the reason is not only did he give the word integrity, in my heart, it was like, we the people, we are the voice. That's not just you and I, it's you. You are a voice. We the people of the United States of America. And the reason we use that font is because I was really prompted and encouraged to go back to our history and our roots of when America was formed and shaped, and the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get a little choked up because I realize I've been talking to a lot of people, different ages, especially a younger age, maybe in the college age. Yeah. They actually made a comment and they said, we're not so sure we embrace the Constitution, or
it's offensive.
It's offensive, exactly. And I realized when I heard that, it really grieved me, because that is what makes us so unique in America. I heard a person they were actually in another country, born and raised there, and they said, we are looking to America and we're watching to see what's going on. And I was like, what? Why are you watching us? Why are you thinking that we have something that you don't have? And then they said, but no, that's not true. You have something we don't. And this was a country that is not built on freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of gathering together. And those are the things that the Constitution was built on, that there were certain guidelines that were put into place to protect the people of the United States.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It's foundational for this country.
Foundational. So after hearing that, I realized, wow, this is unique, and it needs to be valued once again. And it reminded me of a story in the Bible where it says, for those that don't know the story, it's about Esau and Jacob. And Esau had been hunting. He'd went out hunting, and he came back and he was really hungry. And his brother Jacob was making the stew, and when he walked by, it smelled so delicious, and he's like, give me some of that stew. And I think possibly Jacob might have been teasing him, and he's like, I'll give you half my birthright if you will give me some stew. He was that hungry. But what blew me away, and I think that's kind of the same concept that I'm seeing now, is Esau turned around and he said, sure, yes, I'll give you half my birthright for that bowl of stew. And what he did is he gave away something that was so precious and so valuable, because he didn't understand what he had and the value of it. And he just gave it away just like that for something that lasted for a moment. And that's why I believe in we the people, reminding us of what we were built on, America. If you live here in America, you have this right, and it's built on this. And this is something, if you don't even know what the Constitution says, take time to listen to it. I realize that in the past, I have been very silent, and realized that I needed to speak up more. But it wasn't just me, that it's many people that need to realize they have a voice, and it really does matter. And if we all speak up and lay hold of the things that are in our heart, and we rise up, they're a united voice, it can be heard, and it has power.
Yeah.
And so casting vision about this, that, come on, you guys, come on. There's a lot of things that are happening in this country that really aren't what you believe in and not what I believe in. This doesn't look like what we've been used to. And we need to speak up and say it's not okay.
That's right.
And so the message of integrity is something that I think we can all rally around, we can agree on, and it starts in our hearts, because we can look at someone and they can say, I'm being honest and all of that. Only he knows, or that person knows, and God knows. However, if we just start owning it ourselves, owning the message of integrity for our own selves, because I have to admit, when this message came, I was pricked in my own heart and realized that there were areas that I thought were okay, but they weren't. And so it started with me personally, but it also caused me to want to be that voice and encourage and cast vision for other people and say, you know what, when you see something that's dishonest, speak about it, because if you keep turning your back on these things, it just crumbles. And we have to know that we can trust. People want integrity.
Yeah, we have to stand up for what's right.
Right.
And we have to exercise integrity even when no one's looking.
That's good.
We don't want to put on a face just to impress others. We really
Right.
want it to be our heart to do what's right.
Yes. And I think that's key, what David said, is when no one's looking. Because if we, and you know what, I'm sitting here thinking as he's saying that, some people are like, you know what, it really doesn't matter, or so what? But I want to cast vision right now for not just personally. If you don't have enough, maybe vision for it, let me help you out with that. This is talking about our society. This is talking about America. If you have children or if you have people, dear loved ones, and if we are not built on integrity, moral principles, and honesty, these things start crumbling more and more. And I know you're seeing this. And I want you to realize that for me, we have 7 grandchildren. And I am hungry. I really want to see a society that has been preserved because people chose integrity over the opposite. And so it's not just for you, it's for the generation to come.
Yeah, next generation.
And so this is why it's so important. And I believe that if we can unify and come together and hold ourselves accountable in integrity and encourage others, that this would be this is going to change things. It will preserve our way.
On the website, there are what you call 7 spheres of influence. Do you want to talk about that briefly?
I would. So what we realize is, there are areas of influence that really influence people. I'm sure you've seen it in sports. Look how influential people in sports are. They have a voice. They're being listened to. Media, government, family, religion, education, right? What else? What's the other one? Business.
Arts and
Business,
entertainment,
arts and entertainment. All of those areas have influence. And so the reason we're targeting that is we realize that people, as they lead by example, it casts visions for other people.
That's right.
In those areas of influence. So you're going to see it on the website. You're going to see people giving interviews of just their personal experience in those areas of influence. How can we help other people get this message out, especially those that aren't bold to just walk up to people or share? And so we came up with an idea of having T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Ta-da! And we have T-shirts on the website that you can order. And the cool thing about it is it actually has what do you call those things? The scanners on the back, where someone can just walk by, scan code it, and then you can hear more about the value of integrity. So we've got T-shirts for people to wear, and what I've found that when you wear them, people are going to ask you about it. It's a great conversation piece. So that's a way of getting it out. We have yard signs. We have signs that look like this that you can put in your yard, or you can put in your business or in your window, any of those type of things. Just keeping that word before people so that when they're put in a position to either choose integrity or not, or to encourage someone else, they're reminded, no, this is important, this is crucial for this time in this hour, right?
Absolutely.
So we've got T-shirts, we've got signs, and if you don't do any of those, just share, like these messages. But another thing is you stand for it. You come up with creative ways to get that message out. Mm-hmm. Teach it to your children.
And mainly operate in it, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a word we teach others, it's we model it by example.